Shana Tova. 1,500 years ago, the rabbis were debating the proper selections of Torah to be read on holidays and special occasions throughout the year. Rabbi Shimon ben Elazar reports a practice of the Jewish community in the land of Israel dating back to the early Second Temple period around 520 BCE. According to the Talmud, immediately before Rosh Hashanah, our ancestors would read Deuteronomy's list of curses that would befall the Jewish people if they didn't follow the mitzvot of the Torah. And the rabbis scratched their head, pressing Shimon ben Elazar to defend the logic behind the practice. After all, Elul, the month leading up to Rosh Hashanah, is traditionally a season of hopeful introspection. Shimon, though, was unfazed by his colleagues' skepticism. We read the Torah's curses precisely now at this moment, he explained, so that we can joyfully wave goodbye, not just to the year now ending, but to all of the tzoros and curses that it brought into our lives and homes. Good riddance, we say, to 5785, to the rise of anti-Semitism, the distressing division that has seeped into the politics of our country, and the overheated Jewish communal discourse about the state of Israel. The season of these high holy days is a coming home of sorts. For those who don't frequent the synagogue very often, for the ones who come in search of God, and for those who come in search of themselves, welcome home. At its best, our community is not just a sacred refuge from the ravages of the outside world. Our synagogue and our tradition aspire to be a source of joy and of love. The psalmist introduces this framework by declaring, "Happy is the one who finds great delight in God's commands." Judaism is not meant to be overly intellectualized, nor is it meant to be ancient and dusty, a relic from another time. Judaism is supposed to be fun, a source of delight. Doing Jewish is supposed to make us happy and fulfilled, a kind of meaning that is deep, connecting us to the past and the future. In the V'ahavta, the biblical author commands us, love the Holy One with all your heart and soul and being. And for millennia, scholars have debated exactly what kind of love the biblical author was referring to. If you'll indulge me in a little R-rated theology, I'll admit that I prefer to think about it as a spicy, erotic kind of love. In both Deuteronomy 7 and 10, God is described as loving the Israelites via the verb chashak, which my colleague Rabbi Shai Held argues should be translated as God loved Israel with a passionate passion, like in a steamy kind of way with Marvin Gaye playing in the background. I know it's not the usual way that we tend to think about religion, but Held continues. If God loves Israel emotionally and passionately, then presumably Israel's attempt to reciprocate ought to be emotional and passionate in tenor too. If we take this analogy towards its logical conclusion, doing Jewish and being Jewish is supposed to be exciting and pleasurable, with all the energy and mystery of meeting a new partner and enjoying the honeymoon phase of the relationship. Every time we do a Jewish act that brings God's presence into the world, we're symbolically bringing ourselves one step closer to God and to the joy of being intimately swept up in relationship with the holy. So yes, there are times when it feels like the world is falling apart around us. The news is so upsetting. There are hostages still in captivity. But if you ask me how I keep going, what keeps me grounded and connected and focused, it's that I love being Jewish. I love being in love with Judaism and with God, because our tradition is still alive and well, still beckoning me to engage in the questions that go beyond what will happen tomorrow. That yearning for more and the pleasure that I get from seeking it, that's what has kept me going and what will fuel my connection in the year ahead. As has become our Erev Rosh Hashanah custom, we've invited several households to share their own thoughts about themselves, their connection to our synagogue, and what keeps them connected in the midst of our fractured world. I want to take this moment to extend my deepest appreciation to Emily Steinberg, Irving and Sharon Picard, and the Herman family, Kelly, Kenny, and their daughters, Maddie and Olivia, for sharing their voices in this unique way. By the way, as a parenthesis, it is the season of forgiveness, so I think Cantor Becker and I have decided to be compassionate about the Hermans' decision to so openly root for a baseball team other than the Phillies in their video. We hope you'll forgive them too. It's my pleasure at this time to call on Emily to get us started.